Yo, yo. What's up, guys? It's Rojo Cova here, back for the first time actually on this channel, which is Cova's Lookout Live. This is going to be my new live streaming channel. So on Cova's Lookout, I'm going to continue to do the deep dives and stuff like that. On this channel, I'm going to just pretty much change up my whole, just do a different type of content where I'm going to just do like live streams mainly, and then I'm going to just do like turn this down. I'm gonna share the link real quick, guys. But yeah, on this channel, I'm gonna do live streams of me just drawing. I'm going to do sorry, let me take a picture. Right now. All right. So yeah, on this channel, I'm going to essentially just do things like do these live streams. I'm gonna do like reviews or like look at books that I've been like wanting to review and stuff. I read a lot of comic books all the time. I mean, so I'm gonna probably pick a book that I've been reading or I've been looking at or that I really enjoyed and I've read in the past. So I'm probably gonna do things like that, like reviews. Try to do more independent people's books. So I have a lot of independent comic book artist friends and stuff that I do that make their own comics. So I would love to do show a light on those guys, and then even hopefully like I could schedule some stuff out with some of those creators and do like creator commentaries and stuff like that, where they kind of like show their thoughts behind the books and stuff like that. So I mean, I have a lot of like ideas and content. Then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna split up a lot of these segments in these live streams, and then make them to like in their own individual like videos. So say I get somebody on live and they I do like a little mini short quick interview with them, and then I'll post it on as like an individual like slightly edited version of the video of like that live stream. I'm going to do like reacting to news and stuff like that. So like maybe comic book news that I feel like it's important, not like drama stuff, or try not to, at least, I don't feel like that's that important, thing to talk about. There's a lot of people who do that stuff. I don't want to do that stuff, but so I got all like this new equipment. So I got this new microphone. I got a new camera that I'm gonna use to point at my screen. I mean, like my board. So outside of like doing interviews, reviews, talking about news, I'm also gonna do drawing streams. So I'm currently working on issue 3, the pages of AWOL. So once we're done talking about all the books, we're gonna I'll ink some of this page on the live stream. I don't know if I will do the whole page or not, but that's the plan for this stream. So yeah, this is straight into. So today's book that I picked to look at is the Doom, the Sanford Green Doom book that he co-wrote with Jonathan Hickman. I got the giant sized version. I got the original one when it first came out. I remember when it first came out, people kind of slept on it. People weren't thinking about it really much. And then when it went viral for the MF Doom line at the very beginning, the Living on Borrowed Time, the Clock Ticks Faster bar from Accordion, the MF Doom song Accordion. It I think Hidden NY and a couple other pages posted about it on Instagram, and it just went freaking crazy. Actually got it signed by Sanford at the last Heroes Con. I think it was I think this year when I saw him. So this is like the giant size that they have. They put out like right after the first issue came out, because this is like a giant size. It was just a one shot, and so they put a giant size like artist edition, which I'm so glad. I picked it up immediately when I saw it because I love Sanford Green's work. So it was super dope that they made this. So like half of the book is the comic in color and everything like that, which is super great again to see. But also the other half is like some sketches that Sanford did, and also like the black and white version, which is what makes it the artist edition. So we're probably gonna skip on to that and just look at that, because I was gonna look at this last night after I finished my pages and stuff that I was working on, but I'm just gonna do it right now because fuck it, why not? So let's look at these are some of the variant covers there. I guess came out when the book came out. Pretty cool. Mario Wolfman is a cool cover. And then there's like the script. So I think Sanford and Jonathan Hickman he helped kind of just helped Sanford write it, you know. He kind of co-wrote it and stuff like that. I guess he kind of helped them like get the plots and stuff down. I don't know. He talked about it in an interview before, but I don't remember exactly what like their breakup was essentially. And this is some of the logos I guess he helped make. He designed for it. It's pretty cool. And this is a sketchbook. I actually got to see his sketchbook at Heroes. He showed me his sketchbook and kind of just told me like, you know, carrying a sketchbook helps a lot when you're like trying to like get your characters down, how you want them to look and act and stuff. So I'm definitely gonna, you know, I mean, I have a bunch of sketchbooks. I don't have like enough time to be carrying around and doing, you know, I'm not a full-time artist, so I can't like just pull out my sketchbook at work when I want to. And if I do have time, like spare time to draw, I'm gonna be working on my pages for my comic. You know, mainly, you know, because I've knocked out like 2 or 3 sketchbooks this year, but mainly that was during like times when I wasn't working on a comic. So, but yeah, he has a bunch of like character designs and stuff up here. It's really cool, like to see all this stuff. I'm sure if you like sold this sketchbook, you would probably make a lot of you'd make some money off of it if you wanted to. So yeah, because in this book, in this Doom comic, if y'all haven't read it, it has essentially just a bunch of like a bunch of characters, and then like he literally just drew the whole Marvel universe because that's like essentially like the whole story is like Galactus is coming and Doom has to stop him. Like, well, like he just already destroyed Earth, and like Doom is just out in space, and he like him and Valeria Reed, or you know, Valeria Richards, Reed and Susan Richards' son, or daughter, kind of like stop, like she like revives Doom and stops him and helps him go and get powerful and stop Galactus. So yeah, this is pretty cool. Like all the character breakdowns, and these are all like his thumbnail breakdown, which I think is freaking dope. I wonder if he does this digitally. He probably does. I think he does. It's like his stuff into Procreate and then prints them out. A lot of artists do that. So it's like the black and white version. They're super dope, man. I wonder if I think he sold the pages for this already. He probably made hella bread with these pages. Yeah. I'm not really a Doom, like I'm not like not a Doom fan, but I never really was like, you know, I don't really like like all the lore and backlog like information behind Doom. Like I wasn't like super like tapped in with him. I'm like, 'cause I'm generally speaking, I'm not really tapped into like superhero comics in general, you know, like Marvel and DC stuff. So I don't really, you know too much lore outside like the main people is like what they got going on and stuff. But yeah, these pages are dope, man. I love seeing like how like the ink wash stuff he uses on here, and then like you go look back at like the color pages. They like I think Stanford colors his own work, or he does like partial colors for his own work. So this is really cool. I'm pretty sure this is an ink wash. All these like shadows in here, the gray tones. So it doesn't look like a marker, so that's pretty so sick. I would love to see him do some more like series. I've only seen him do like covers and um like mini stuff, like one-off issues and stuff. Outside of Bitterroot, he doesn't really do or at least not that I can remember full runs of anything. You know, he's done like a few one-off mini runs here and there, like he did like Red Hood, you know, Bitterroot, he did this. But I haven't really seen him do anything in like big yet. Like I would love to see him do like a Miles Morales or you know something like that, or just regular Spider-Man or Hulk. I think that would be cool. I'd love to see him write more too. I think it's really like weird that a lot of artists don't write as much as I feel like they should. I don't feel like writing is such a difficult thing. You know, I feel like people, and this is not talking about like Sanford, but like in general, I feel like a lot of artists or people take writing so seriously when it's just like you watch a lot of comics. I mean, you read a lot of comics, you watch a lot of movies. I feel like you can get a general gist of like how to write a story. I don't feel like you really need to read all those like save the cat and whatever the fuck, like the hero's journey. You just start writing and it'll start making sense eventually. I think, especially if you're like the artist, because you can just tell it like visually. You can just come up with stuff as long as it looks visually appealing. I think it doesn't really matter. It's a cool double spread. Like this page is so dope. I bet it took him a couple of days to knock out these double page spreads for sure. So the Kirby Crackle and all that stuff. Yo, what's up, Joshy? We're looking at some Sanford Green Doom right now. And, yeah, man, this is a great. I'm glad they put this out. It's super dope. I love seeing the raw pages. You know, see he did the ink wash right here. All these the heroes and stuff. I just think it's super sick. I love how he uses all the splatter. That's something I really want. Like I try to incorporate a lot more in my artwork. Is just like putting splattering and stuff, but I try to do it tastefully, like to make it add more effect. Because if you over splatter stuff, it will kind of ruin the page, you know, a little bit. At least in my opinion, I feel like it does. Yeah, Josh. If you haven't checked it out, man, I would pick up this book. This book is super dope. See, look at that. That Doom right here is super cool. Yeah, it's fucking sick. I love how he turned on this page. He like turned it this way. This is like a real like 90s image type Rob Liefeld thing where they kind of like would turn the page this way. Makes it a lot more interesting, you know. It's cool. Celestials. This page is super deep. I love that angle. Yeah, this comic is sick, man. This comic is sick. Like, look at this. I don't look at these characters are here. Like, it's just battle. Like, look at this. This position is super dope. I love how he like the cape because he's glowing in this scene, so the cape is like white. So he kind of like adds the cape as like this awkward, like the other tone of like negative white, and it just looks freaking amazing. I love this sequence too. It's something I want to learn how to figure out in my work. Just kind of like the pacing of this battle. I would just like boom, 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 boom. Like there's so much going on in just one fight scene. And these panels are interesting. Like I on some of my pages for AWOL number 3, I have some panels like this, and I'm still trying to like figure out how I'm gonna fit in like what I have in there, like right, you know. This is super dope too. It's like, you know, he's doing like this stuff. He's just about to mess them all up. I look at that. That is amazing. Sanford is fucking masterful. I'm glad he's getting like more recognition now because of this book. Like, I guess before this he wasn't as popular, but now that he did Doom, it's kind of like people know him for that now, for his this Doom book. So it's pretty cool. And the rest of the book in here is just like some old Jonathan Hickman Fantastic Four stuff that he wrote, and then from his Fantastic Four run, and then it has like some old Sanford Green. So like, you can tell how much different his artwork is. Like it's a lot more clean. Like you can see the bones, but like you can tell like it's not as messy or like dynamic. His Power Man and Iron Fist series is really, really dope too. I forgot he did do that series before. He did Bitterroot. But yeah, Sanford's dope. I fuck with it. This book is dope. If you haven't checked this out, I would highly recommend picking this up. All right. So another cool thing that happened that was announced was DC Comics announced that they announced that they're going to do this Batman Beyond Static thing. And then the cool thing about this and the interesting thing about this is that one, they actually did a Batman Static collab before with Nicholas Draper Ivory, who's the artist for I think he's doing the art for the first 2 issues. He was the artist that did the new Static run that was done last year, or not, 2022. And so now they're doing a limited series. I don't know how many 6-issue limited series. So he's doing the first 2 issues. I don't know. He's doing the first 2. So they don't say who's doing the second, the other 4 issues. Hopefully somebody like good, you know. But yeah, Nick J. Briver, he did this. But the interesting thing about this is that so they did a milestone. This is a cool cover by what's his name, Dennis Cowan. It's pretty cool. This one's pretty cool too. All these are all dope variants. But so they did a 30-year anniversary milestone comic. Pull it up real quick. And they actually Nicholas Ivory, he actually did a like a mini story in there with this comic of what the hell? Is it not gonna move? What's going on here? Oh, snap. Okay. Give me a second. This freaking this freaking app. All right, so yeah, so he did in this there's like a bunch of like mini stories, and he did one story at the end um where it's like a static crossover and with him. So it's like future what's his name? Static and Batman Beyond, and it's really cool because I remember he was talking about it because I guess he just like asked, it was like, I want to do a Batman Beyond Static episode, and so we get to it. So like the Shadow Cabinet stuff right here, it's a really good issue. If you guys haven't checked it out, I would recommend picking it up. But so yeah, here we go, Static Beyond. So this came out and nobody really talked about this. I don't know why, but it was like six issues. And yeah, so I guess this was like kind of like the proof of concept for it. It's just like literally nobody talked about this fucking comic. It's super dope, man. Like he got it down pat with this. Like, look at this page right here. This is freaking sick, man. Like he got this down. He even got like the Bruce Timm style down with like the dog and with the old Bruce Wayne, Terry McGinnis. Like he drew him like damn near to a T. So yeah, that's super sick. Um, he's like, in my opinion, he's a really good artist. Um, I love his work because he definitely does a good job of like keeping it anime, but also American style, and he does all of it. He does because he does all digital, at least with this stuff. So he colors and he writes and like pencils, inks, all this stuff. So you look at the static, that's super dope. Like this angle, that's really sick. But yeah, I love how like he did like the accent with the like it's all gray and black and gray with the accent colors of like yellow and red. So yeah, this came out a couple years ago. And like I said, I don't know why people didn't really talk about this that much, but I guess it didn't really get pushed as much. A lot of the milestones that they came out after like the initial like static when that was announced, and like the other stuff that was announced kind of like I guess fell to the wayside. At least in my mind, I feel like it kind of fell to the wayside. I guess it didn't really sell as well as they thought it was going to. I don't know, but see, look, he has like Mr. Terrific right here. He has like the old Static and Bruce, Tim Drake and the Joker. Like this is like super cool. And so like the story is pretty much like he's talking to like about how he was training with Batman and now he's gonna help train Terry, whatever. But yeah, see, look at this page. This is freaking sick, man. Like if they made another cartoon, they need to get him to do the character designs, which I don't like. I don't know how up you guys are on like the milestone stuff, but like they're in like this weird legal limbo with like the IPs, not with DC, but with like the creators. Because a few years back, when they first announced that they were going to do a milestone like revamping. I think it was like 2016, but they got it held up because apparently the original founders, because Dwayne McDuffie passed away a couple years ago, like 2014, 15. And so the original founders, they were gonna bring it back, but would not include the estate of Dwayne McDuffie. So his wife was like, "No, like, like y'all aren't gonna do that without like, I don't know if it's like a compensation thing or like trying to take ownership." Because like apparently what they were trying to do was make a whole different company and just take all the IPs and put it under another company, and then like completely try to like write out Dwayne McDuffie and all them. So yeah, that was like a big thing, and they settled, but I don't know like what the whole like settlement thing is, and I don't think they're gonna that's why I don't think they're ever gonna get like a movie or cartoon ever again, just because of like all that legality stuff they probably don't want to deal with. Because I mean, I feel like Static would still go crazy now. At least that's my opinion, because it's still popular. Like a lot of the kids who watch Static are grown now, and even like me, because I'm only 27, and I remember watching Static when I was little, and there's people who probably up to like probably like 35, like early like younger millennials, early Gen Zers, like me myself, like older Gen Zers and younger millennials all watched Static. So yeah, it is what it is though. That's just how the IP game works. So all right, so now I'm about to start working on some of this page from AWOL, and then maybe I can put some music on. What do you guys think? Yeah, yeah, the legal stuff does suck. I think it is kind of because I don't want to like shit on like Dwayne McDuffie and all them dudes, because I don't really know exactly what. Because I mean, when I was just because I did my video on it's called Comics hates safe sex. So I don't know if you guys seen that video, but that video is essentially about like what happened between Milestone and DC Comics and kind of like the fall, the fallout between the companies and like why they fell out and all this stuff. And the biggest thing was there's like an issue of Static where on the cover, the Static and his girlfriend character or whatever, they were like kissing, and then on the floor of the on the scene on the floor, adjust the camera real quick, guys. There was like a pack of condoms or something, and DC editorial was like, "No, we're not going for that." And Dwayne McDuffie was standing like on business like with it, and then like everybody else kind of like they just didn't really weren't on code with each other essentially, and it kind of sucks. Like Dennis Cowan was kind of like he just quit after that because he don't want to deal with the shit, and then whatever. And on top of that, I mean Milestone wasn't really selling that well back then at that point because of just like comic shops weren't trying to buy black comics. Yeah, the market was crashing after like the Image boom because they came out right around the Image boom. All the same. There's like a lot of like studios popped up, and they were just like one of the ones that kind of came out at a bad time essentially, and which sucks. But I mean, I'm just glad they were able to get the cartoon because I think the cartoon kind of cements at least one character's legacy. Yeah, so I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I'm just glad we're getting the comics back. I mean, Milestone's been around just like in small increments. They'll bring it back and do like the new 52 Static, or they'll do some other random stuff, and it comes and goes. And I mean, the original Static stuff has an ending. Like it ends with like Static becoming an adult, and everybody else kind of like doing their own thing and whatever. So, but yeah. So here's the page I'm working on for AWOL number 3. So if you guys don't know, what I do is I draw all of my pencils and my roughs like digitally, and then I just print them out in blue line and then ink them. And I mean, honestly, I could just like do it all digitally, and then I'll probably be done like twice as fast. But I just love the feel like drawing on paper, so I kind of just do that instead, just because whatever. Definitely should get more into that. Yeah, the original run is really good actually. Like it's really really good. Like Dwayne McDuffie and all them, like they had like a really clear cut idea of what they were trying to say and like do in those comics back then. So and then I think John Leopold or John, I forgot his name. The artist that was their initial artist in Static is really good. He just passed away not too long ago. But yeah, the Static and the thing that really stands out to me about like a lot of those comics, those Milestone comics, is the way they like colored stuff. Like they were using like color pencils and like watercolors and a bunch of like super cool, like different. Like it just stands out in what they were doing. I think what artist came from, there's an artist that's like super popular now. He came from Milestone. Actually, I forgot who he was, but yeah, Static, Milestone. It's like the biggest. Like, I mean, eventually, hopefully, at one point, we'll get a movie or another cartoon. I think it will be like a huge hit if it's like pushed right, if it's like done the way it needs to, like with the respect that it deserves and stuff. I think it would. I mean, because Static showed up in I think Young Justice. I don't know. I didn't really watch those seasons whenever he was on it, and I think Icon and Rocket also showed up in Young Justice in the later seasons. But I had already stopped watching Young Justice by then. That's like when they brought it back. So, but Virgil showed up. But I don't think that he was just like a character that was kind of there. I don't remember him actually being he wasn't there like having like a big character arc. I don't even think he was Static yet. I think he was just Virgil. Who's the artist or color artist you take most inspiration from? So for AWOL, like my inspirations I took for this comic was like Tatsu type manga. So like Go Nagai, James Herron's Ultra Mega comic, just like those beat 'em up like comics for the guy, the guys that transform and they turn and they beat up monsters, kind of like Power Rangers, type Ultraman, things like that, like those type of mangas, shows and stuff. So like those are kind of like the biggest inspiration, just for like the character designs and like the idea of like just monsters and stuff. And then with the first issue, I've kind of went from like a kind of like a Berserk vibe, where it's just kind of like um Berserk esque. Like if you read the early chapters of Berserk, you don't really like it's just like Guts is just a black swordsman before he's actually like Guts. He was kind of just like you don't really know much about him. He was just going around fighting monsters and stuff, and like you just kind of get a feel for how crazy the world is, and that's kind of it. And then so that's where I kind of did with the first issue, where I kind of just here's the monsters, here's what's going on, blah blah blah, and so that's what I'm doing for this first arc. And then, so and what I'm gonna try to do when I write it is I'm gonna try to do like 4-issue story arcs. So each like 4 issues, there's gonna be a different story arc and thing kind of going on with it. Like so I mean it's gonna all lead up to like a grandiose story. And I don't know how many issues I'm gonna do. I'm gonna try to keep it between like 20 and 30 issues altogether for the whole thing, not something too long, because I don't want to be like a doing like I'm not like a manga. I don't want to be doing like One Piece for like 1,000 chapters or like I want to work on other stuff. And I'm going to like after I'm done with issue 4 of AWOL, I'm gonna go work on a one shot because I just want to do a one shot. It's gonna be like a war comic one shot, and then and then I'll probably start. I take like a break during the holidays, so like probably during like Christmas time, probably just take a break. Just probably just go like just focus on the channel, focus on building channel up, focus on just getting better at drawing. I like I was saying earlier about like sketchbooks. Like I don't really one time I ever work on a sketchbook is when I have but I'm not working on the comic. So then I'll just like sketchbook it out and I'll do like anatomy studies, perspective studies, all that crap, and I'll probably just do like a bunch of I'll probably like open myself up for commissions. I mean, I'm open up for commissions pretty much at any point, because I don't really promote it that much, because I'm like I would rather just work on my own shit than work on the stuff that people really want me to want me to do like a piece for them. I'll do it. I just don't, like I said, I don't really promote that part of my art, but I'm gonna try to take a crack at it. Whenever. Okay, that's really, yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, I'm right now, Hunter, because I know you backed the campaign. And so did you, Heroin. Right now, all I'm waiting for now is just like the funds from Kickstarter to come in, because the first like week, you have to wait for, because if like some people's like payments drop, they give them a week to get their payments right, like for their backing, and if they don't, then it just just drops, which sucks. But it is what it happens. Stuff happens. People, the money they thought they were gonna have, they don't have. Just things happen. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. But once that should be done tomorrow, I think that's the last day for people to fix their payments, and then after that, I don't know how many days after that. I think it's like essentially I think I should get all the money for like sent to me by end of next week, and then the file is already ready to be printed. So all I gotta do is just send it to the printer, make sure everything's like good. Like I'm gonna double check everything, make sure everything's looks good the way it is, but I already got everything like essentially like made and ready for print. Essentially, like I'll just do like another like double check before, but everything's already designed out. And then hopefully it doesn't take that long for it to come in. And I should have it. So if I put it in next week, I think I'll probably have all the books in by early early September, and then I'll just mail it all out immediately, like after that, and just so and that's that pretty fun. So, how do you feel sort of pressure when doing a fundraiser? I appreciate it a lot, but it's week. Yeah. So I'm gonna be honest with you, I was definitely like super like stressed out about it. No, for no reason really. It's just kind of like just the way I am when it comes to certain things. I'm like just want to kind of have it to be good and don't have no patience. Like I just want the results immediately. So that was kind of like how I felt. But once I was able to get the once I hit my campaign goal, I was pretty much chill after that. But As far as like, I mean, putting it all together wasn't that bad. Like once I actually sat down and freaking what's it called? Like did it, it took me probably like an hour maybe to like get all the stuff that I need together, like all the files and stuff, like to put the pictures and kind of like figure out how I'm gonna price everything and design the page and stuff. And the biggest thing I did was I looked at other people's pages and kind of how they had everything set up. And once I did that, I was pretty much good. And then I mean, even after you launch, you can still edit your page, so it's not like everything's set in stone. I think the biggest thing is just like promoting it while it's live and like promoting the hell out of it, like to the point of annoyance. Which is shitty, and that's why I kind of like a reason I want to take like a break, because I want to do another Kickstarter, but I'm probably gonna wait till like next year, like give everybody like a break to like read it and other people who backed it, and what I'm saying. So I'll probably do it like depending on like how everything's going with like my work and stuff, and when I have time. Probably like February, March time frame. I'll probably do it for the collected edition of AWOL, like all 4 issues. But what's what I was gonna say? But yeah, I mean, it was all right. Like it was just kind of like, all right, like how much do I want to push this on everybody? How much do I want to do this? How much do I want to be annoying about it? You know what I'm saying? And then I did all those reels. That was kind of like a little stressful. But like even like after the first week, once I get my funding goal, because I hit it in the first week, I was like, I'm gonna take a couple of days to just chill out and not like push it too much, because I was kind of burnt out. And then I just like pushed. Then once I got a couple days to kind of recharge myself, my energy, I was like, all right, let me get back into it. But yeah, I mean, it was cool. It's a good experience. There's a lot of learning. The thing about Kickstarter, because I've been paying attention to Kickstarter for a couple of years now. It's interesting that Kickstarter's algorithm is super weird. Like I did a live stream with this guy. His name is Comic. What's his fucking name? His name is Tyler, but his page is, oh man, whatever. Anyways, it's like a comic book. He like just like he's a Kickstarter guy and he does a lot of live streams. And he let me see if I can find him. He what's it called? He's like always doing talking about Kickstarters and stuff like that. And he's been doing Kickstarter for the last like 8, 9, 10 years or something like that. And he said like the algorithm is as weird, is always changing, and it's kind of hard to what's it called? To like kind of figure it out, like what works and what doesn't. It just really, he said like the biggest thing is kind of just like continuously doing it, like Kickstarters and stuff like that. And then because I guess if Kickstarter sees that your account is constantly like funding, they'll push it a little bit more to see your consistency, your back, not back, but like you're getting all your stuff to your backers and stuff like that. I guess it helps. And I guess if people see you on there more, I don't know, because I don't really know like what people want on Kickstarter. Like I don't know, like all the people who back my campaign are people who I kind of like know. Like I don't think I got a lot of like random people like from Kickstarter alone. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really know how that works, but you know, I'm definitely gonna do it again, because even if I only get like, because I got like $2,000 this time, if I only get even $1,000, like I set my goal for like $1,000, that is still enough to like get some copies of some books. And the whole back end, it pays off a lot more, especially at the back end when like all the books you sell essentially are profit. Like it's not like you have to get your money back what you put in for the printing costs. Like all my books before this one, except for my tit for tat book, I had just paid out of pocket. So essentially, like I'm set. I don't even know if I broke even all those books yet. I don't remember. I have to look at them. Like some of them I did, but some of them still haven't broke even on, as far as like sales wise and stuff, like what I spent and whatever. But I mean, it's not that big of a deal. But Kickstarter kind of helps with that. So now it's like, oh well, I don't have to worry about that, because I got every comic I sell is like profit, and I can think about how I want to price it differently or whatever. And then also in the future, I'm gonna look at different printers. Maybe like Chinese printers. I was looking at some Chinese printers, and they're way cheaper, like relatively. But then again, it's like I can get like, I found a printer where I could buy the same amount of books. I mean, I can for the same price of books I'm gonna spend now on the printer I'm using. I could buy this. I can spend the same amount of money and get like 10 times more books. But then again, I'm like, do I want to have, instead of 100 books, do I want to have 500 books in my house stocked up, because I don't have like a huge buyer base yet, you know. So I'm like, do I want to sit with all those books, or do I just want 100 books? And I can, you know, I can move 100 books in about a year, you know what I'm saying? But I don't know if I can move 500 books in. I don't want to be sitting on books for a couple years. Like if I have all those books in my house, I'm gonna want to like go to conventions and try to get that shit off as you know as much as possible, you know. So it's a lot to think about when it goes down to it, because you know at the end of the day, outside of just being an artist, like I'm trying to be like like a publisher and a producer. Like I'm trying to, you know, so you got to think more business savvy and make what makes more sense. And even just like I said in Kickstarter, if you get like 1-2 successful campaigns, that can set you up for, you know, the rest of the year to sell comics on your website or wherever, you know, and do conventions. And like I said, it's all profit. You're not having to worry about, getting your money back. So you can maybe fluctuate what your price is and do all this other stuff. So, you know, that's awesome. I want to get 2 chapters done of like before I can. Yeah. I think that's like a thing, Josh. They say to have like a lot of it done first. So then when you can do like the campaigns like back to back. You know, are you an artist, Josh, or are you just a writer, or what? And it says, what does the shipping speed like on one of those? Oh, so yeah, that's a thing I haven't checked out yet. Heroin, like, you know, I mean, regardless of what the shipping speed is, I think that it will be worth it in the long run, just because it will like I said, the amount of books you'll be getting is just like night and day compared to like getting it from overseas here. But then I don't know like if it will equate to the same price once you consider like the shipping cost, the tax to get it over here, and the tariffs and stuff. All that stuff kind of adds up. So I don't know if that will add up to like equating to the same amount that I would have spent just getting it done like over in stateside. So you know, I don't know. It's a lot to think about, but it's just like trial and error. You know, I would hope though it wouldn't take that long, but a lot of people that I've talked to said, yeah, sometimes you can get screwed over, like especially if you do it like through the freight, like the one on the boat. So my little brother's one that told me, because he is I don't know if you guys know what Alibaba is, and that's pretty much like like for manufacturers to go and they will commission companies to do like just a bunch of shit, not just comic books, but they do like shoes, t-shirts, fucking whatever. So it's like it doesn't really I don't say it doesn't matter, but like it does there's a lot of different things, you know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of different it's a lot of things you just have to consider in general. Like I think I'll probably just stick to the local printer for now. You know, just because like I said earlier, I don't really have like a big consumer base of people who want to buy the comics. I don't want to have my house full of comics that are never gonna sell, or that's gonna take years to sell. You know, that's how I'm a writer. But I do know how to draw, but with my work schedule and trying to go on YouTube, I'd rather pay time. Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, if you can do that, yeah, I would definitely do that, Josh, for sure. If that's how you want to go about it, there's a lot of people who do that. And they'll pay for artists and stuff like that. You know, you gotta just find an artist that's reliable, who's not gonna screw you over or like take their sweet time and all that other bullshit. Like that's gonna like straight up be about their business and not. And you want to find an artist who isn't gonna who's just there for like a job, who's actually like cares to make the best they want. You know, like I've had experiences with artists, like color artists specifically, because that's who I use to like help me color covers and stuff. You know, there's one guy I actually did I had commissioned to do one of the covers, or the colors for the mini print that I had for the Kickstarter, which is one of the pages from issue 1. And you know, I think I'm gonna be honest with you, I found him on Reddit. I'm gonna be honest with you, I think he might have just been like a scammer, but I don't want to put that on him. But so he colored my page and it just didn't look like anything that he was showing me in his samples. And I was like, what the hell is this? Like, I was like, dude, this is not the same. He's like, well, and he just started to make excuses. Well, it's like your artwork is like, you know, you had like a hard time, like, you know, your anatomy. He, you know, trying to like put it on me like I was like my artwork was bad, and so he couldn't color it well because my artwork is bad. Essentially what he was saying without saying it like that. And I was like, okay, I guess, but like even that is like you like what you're showing me doesn't even look remotely the same. Like it's not even like the same type of style, the same like um shading style that you use in all these samples. So I was like, man, I think he might have scammed me. Like, I mean, it wasn't that expensive, but it was just kind of like the idea. It's like he was either scamming me or he was just being shitty. Because even if my artwork is quote unquote shitty, like a good colorist can just do it. Like, you know what I'm saying? They'll figure it out. And so I mean, the colorist I ended up getting that I ended up going with, I mean, he did a good job with all the stuff that I had him color. So I mean, he didn't say anything about like my anatomy or anything. He just got it done and it looks good. So yeah, I mean, it is what it is. But whatever. The artist I work with is practically a buddy of mine now. Oh, so you have you made some comics already, Huncho? Have you got any point where it's also- Like, have you already got like, are like the comic you want to do for the Kickstarter? Are you already rolling on it? Like, you already got it like coming through and stuff? Like, that's dope if that's the case. Like, that's awesome. Collaborators, which one you don't want to have an employee. Is that write and draw? Book one is one. I'm all thinking about having two done. That's awesome. That's awesome. What is it? It's gonna be a comic book too. Also, heroin. Tubular heroin. That's dope, man. I love to hear that. Like, people, doing their own thing, man. Because comics is such like a big medium, artist medium that gets overshadowed by like superhero stuff. And I think when people do their own thing, I think it's super dope. Yeah, but yeah, I'm gonna try to do. I mean, when I first got into this space and I found out about crowdfunding, I always wanted to do crowdfunding, like, but I was always just nervous and like just didn't feel like I was ready yet. And then once I just started working on the concept for this comic, I was like, yeah, I think this will be a good one to crowdfund, like people, because all my other comics that I've done were like horror comics. One was like a bootleg Spider-Man comic, and I did like basketball comic, and so all of those are, I think, aren't really like concepts that people really want to buy into. They're not like mainstream, like at least in American comics, mainstream, stuff. And I feel like a lot of people either want like superhero stuff or like super action packed stuff. Yo, what's up, Mr. Meow? So I definitely was like, this comic is gonna be like my mainstream concept comic, like beat 'em up, fighting, monsters, horror esque vibes. Like kind of like everything I've been working on the last couple years, just with other comics. So that's kind of like what I'm doing with AWOL. I'm almost finished with chapter 1, 4 pages away with the black and white and 11 page movement coloring. Dang, that's dope. Are you, so is the artist doing all like he's doing the inks and colors and stuff, and you're just fully writing, or are you helping like do gray tones and other stuff, or he's just doing all the writing? You're doing all the writing duties, he's doing all the color duties. Yeah, comics. And my brother has just pitched GF4 number 2 of the first title. This page is done already. That's awesome. That's great. Yeah, I mean, the best thing is like, as long as you keep on pace, like you think about it, you do one page a day, or if you can do, something in that nature, by the end of the month, you'll have a full comic done. Because even if you do, like, if your comic is 24 pages, there's 30 whatever days, you can take a couple of days off, and you'll still have a full comic done, or damn near a full comic done. That's kind of like how I do. I try to do like a page a day. Like today, technically I should be, because I still have a few pages I need to pencil, but I was like, I'm gonna go on stream and just do some inking, because I just printed out, because I think I only have 4 pages left to pencil of this chapter, and then I'll be fucking done with this, and I'll start working on issue 4. I'm tabling at a convention this weekend, or this upcoming weekend. So after that, I'll start focusing on knocking out issue number 4. Then I'll probably have the 4th issue done by October. What's the yeah, like early October. I'll have it probably done. Then I'll just sit on those, or I might just do like a little, like a small print run, and then see if anybody wants to buy them. What I'll do, because I don't want to do AWOL as like an individual floppy series. I want to do it as a like a full-on book series, like full like manga size. Like I want to do just book 1, book 2, book 3, like just straight like that, instead of having to because I feel like people like buying books more, like full like trades. So especially like a convention, I feel like it's more bang for people's buck, at least in my estimate. That's kind of how I feel. I don't know, but I think that would be, oh shit, sorry about that. I think that was loud as hell in my ears. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. I write the notes and scripts, and do the rough sketches for the main artist. He just line and shading. Then I send it to another artist. That's pretty much. Oh, that's what's up, man. That's what's up. That's dope. I'm glad you found some consistent people to help you with it. That makes it even better when you have people who can help you. you know, that you can rely on and aren't gonna like, fuck you over or any of that craziness. Yeah. What you sell? Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, that's just that's your process. That's your process. Me, I work like kind of fast. I think I just kind of just developed doing that, like just from knowing that like I have a finite of time every night to like do stuff because my whole day is pretty much consumed with either like doing stuff for my kids, work, wife, work stuff. So I always like once the kids are asleep and if my wife doesn't want to do anything or I don't have anything planned to do, I spend these 4 hours from like 8 or 9 to like midnight, and I do something comic book related, like whether it's writing a script, doing thumbnails, or script thumbnails, or penciling or inking stuff. That's kind of like my whole. I always do stuff like that. It's cool because I feel passionate about the project, like me, and I want to feel like cover service. Yeah, for sure. That's the way to go, man. Because if it's not like that, and it kind you'll be able to tell if they didn't give a fuck. Like if they were just like, oh yeah, this is just like a job. You can tell there will be like it will just show in the work that they don't care. At least in my mind, because you could tell like they wouldn't put the same amount of energy or passion into it that they would with their own stuff. Which I've had that experience as well, or at least I've had that feeling from another artist that I worked with prior to that helped color some stuff early on before these guys that I worked with. Like the colors I got for the AWOL covers are all like they did a great job, and I feel like those are guys I'm gonna go back to pretty much consistently, like because AWOL is gonna be black and white with gray tones. Like I'm not gonna color it because I just don't. It just takes too much time. So I'd rather just gray tone it and just call it a day. Maybe eventually I'll do a comic where I color it. Maybe this next comic I'll color it. Well, this next one actually, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do an ink wash style. So I've been I don't know if you guys know who Wes Craig is. He does the comic book Kaya, which is fucking really dope. I actually started reading it like a week ago, and I caught all the way up. Like I bought all the trades, and I was like, yeah, this is the best thing I think I've read in a long time. But anyways, he has a YouTube channel, and that's how I discovered him. And I started watching it, and on his YouTube channel, he has in his videos he does like he like talks about random stuff, and then while he's talking, he's working on pages from the book, and man, he does like this ink wash thing, but it's with blue ink, and that is like it just looks super dope. And I was like, I've always had like an affinity for ink wash. Like I want to do ink wash stuff with my pages. I just felt like I need to get a little bit better with stuff and just get more comfortable with the tools that I have right now before I start because I spend a little too much, but now I feel like I found like the right inking tools, like these Copic multiliners, the and these Tombos. Those are like my main primary ink tools that I fell on that I think work. And then I have like toothbrush for splattering. I found these big acrylic markers. I used to use like a paintbrush to do my big black spots, but now I'm just using these instead. It's just faster. But now I bought these watercolor brushes. They're Winsor Newton watercolor brushes, and I'm gonna start doing like half tones in on my pages for my next comic. I'm gonna test it out. Like every time I do every time I do a new comic, I always try to like test myself and like try a different technique. And so with that one, it's gonna be the comic about the war comic that I'm working on. I'm gonna do ink wash on it, but it's gonna either be like a blue, watercolor, orange, or red as the secondary tone. That's gonna act as a gray tone. So we'll see. And I'll probably just that comic's gonna be the comic I'm gonna work on for the rest of the year. So I could take a little bit more time on it and just whatever. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, that is art dope. Yeah, the acrylic paint markers are cool. And yeah, he is a dope artist. I love the Kaya, and Kaya, he's a really good writer too. Like Kaya is really great. Like I really, really enjoy that series. It's super like cartoony in a way, but it's also action packed. It's fun, interesting world. So I'm glad I found out about it. I picked it up, and I've just been reading it now. going to, just continue reading it now. It's gonna be on my pull list of things I'm gonna read from now on until it's over with. I wonder how many issues you're gonna do. I feel like it's gonna be like around like 60 because the way the story is, like, it seems like it's like not even halfway done, but we'll see. Yeah, I like testing my art. So it's like, even like if you go look at some of my older work, a few of my use like actual brush to ink, which is super freaking hard. But I have these Winsor Newton brushes, the Kolinsky brushes. And I was trying to see which ones is rubbed off. Yeah, I have like a number 1 and a number 2 or a 3, and I was using those to ink, and it's not like that is like I could figure it out, but the biggest thing for me is time efficiency, and they're not very efficient because you have to like brush, and then you have the clean ink brush out, and this, I mean, it's the same thing with watercolor essentially, but like I want to get stuff done, so I'm not about to waste my time freaking doing like that over and over, and then I have to clean the brushes after I'm done and all that other stuff, and I'm just like, oh, forget that, man. That's just it's too much work. So I'm just gonna stick to the brush pens, which kind of give the same effect, not exactly, but give the same look that I am looking for. So I want to fully dedicate to a brush. Yeah, time efficiency. Yeah, I mean, I'm time efficient with everything. Like, even when I do my videos, I kind of like plan everything out, and I already have, since I've done it so often now, I know kind of how I'm gonna do my videos, how I'm gonna edit everything, and all that stuff, and then when I'm gonna put them out. Like, and then also I try to like pace out how often I put out videos. Like, my goal is always either 1 or 2 videos a month. This month I wanted to, since I feel like I kind of slacked a little bit on my channel from last month because of the Kickstarter. I decided this month I'm gonna do 2 videos back to back, like back to back weeks, hitting on like similar topics that I kind of wanted to talk about for a while. So that's what I did this month. But next month I'll probably 1 or 2 videos, just like easier topics, simpler topics and stuff like that. But yeah, the channel is growing well. I like I'm glad it's like the most accomplished social media platform I have. So I think it's cool to see it growing and getting bigger and stuff like that. And hopefully I can hit my goal is for the end of the year, by the end of the year, hit 15K. So we'll see if I can do that. Maybe even surpass that. And yeah, and then just keep going and just consistently just keep making videos, better videos, and then stuff like that. So that is the goal for the channel. And then with that, have people buy my comics. That's kind of like one of the biggest things. Like the biggest point of the channel is to make comics, sell comics, and that's what I'm trying to do with the channel. And I mean, it has worked so far. With one and a few videos that I've done, it kind of it translated to a lot of sales at one point. And hopefully I can continue to do that with future stuff. But yeah, this page is coming out pretty good so far. So this character right here is like he's called the Grand Ranger. You won't be introduced to him until issue 3, but he's like the original guy of what my main character in AWOL is. He's like the first version of these hero people that fight monsters. Again, I mean, I'm so glad that we got hit this stretch goal for issue 2, so I can actually like you actually know more about the world. Because if we only hit issue 1, I mean, you would have had to understand what was going on. But since we hit issue 2, we what's the word? Since we hit issue 2, you'll get to see where it's going to lead to. So that's gonna be super cool. But yeah, this guy, his name is the Grand Ranger, and he's like the old head of the group and the leader of like the organization and all this stuff. It's a lot of lore that I'm gonna build up in the first arc, and then kind of like after that, I'm gonna do like not one-off stories, but like individual arcs. They're gonna add on to the bigger world of what's going on. But like I want to do like arcs where like there's self-contained stories, but then stories that lead to like the bigger story, you know. So I've already been plotting out the second arc and stuff. So I mean, I'm really excited to get to all that stuff. How do you give me extra designs or other concepts? Yeah, I actually do, man. Fuck, I would go grab it. Maybe I could do that in a later stream, like another stream in the future. I'll write it down and kind of show off like a lot of the old drawings because I did a bunch of drawings, but all of my stuff is in like my closet and I already have everything like set up. But I don't want to like move and maybe I'll get up and grab a little bit of stuff. I might have some pictures online on my computer. I can just pull up and show you without having to go and pick everything up. But yeah, I had a bunch of older like the way I drew, like trying to figure out what the main character. I mean, so the series is called AWOL, but the main character, his name is Stokely. So Stokely, his design definitely changed a little bit. Especially his hero form. His original form, like his human form, not too much. Always like I think the only thing I did was add like he has like a white hair birthmark in the front of his head. I just added that because I don't know, I just thought it was cool, but there's nothing like really like a story behind it. Maybe I will add a story behind it in the future. I don't know, just because. But I just thought it would be cool to have like a white hair birthmark. I've only seen like one person in my life that had that, but his birthmark wasn't white. It was like it made his hair like brown, like the spot it was like a light brown instead of being black like the rest of his hair. But I think I think I know a girl that had his hair like that. She had like a white streak. But yeah, we could do that in a later stream. Maybe when I get the books in, I'll definitely do a stream showing off the books, and then I'll look at some of the old concept art that I had. It's not a lot, but I have some stuff. But yeah, and with these streams, I don't know. I'm gonna try to figure out like how often I'm gonna do them. I think there'll be like a bi-weekly thing, like once a week. I'll do like a live stream, or not once a week, like every other week, or depending on what I got going on, or because like I said, I'm gonna be inking all these pages, and I could probably just once a week maybe hop on and just ink and just talk about whatever, and then but it really just depends on my energy and what I want to do, and then once I'm done with like the issues of AWOL and like fulfilling the campaign, I'll have a lot of time to just do like random stuff and whatever. Like my biggest thing about like doing YouTube and also like I was saying earlier, it is about building up my name as an artist and as a creator. That's like the main goal. Like if it wasn't working out that way, I wouldn't continue doing it. But since it is kind of working out that way, it's kind of what I do. So like that's why I want to do these live streams. I want to do like I want to do a lot of drawing streams where I'm drawing a lot and doing stuff like that because I feel like that would be beneficial because I'm still drawing. I'm still like being able to interact with the peoples and stuff and all you guys. So that's kind of like a big thing for me. Just like I don't want to take away from like my art. So if I'm able to incorporate the art and doing art with this stuff, it makes it more sense. It makes it easier, it makes it more fun, Because I'm not like I'm not a live streamer who's like gonna sit here and just chit chat about like stuff going on because I don't really care too much about like celebrity stuff and comic book stuff is super dry anyways. So it's not like there's like a lot going on, except for like talking about the new series or new this. So it's not whatever. Like what I'm trying to say. Like I'm not like an entertainer stream. I'm just gonna draw and just chit chat with everybody and just that's it. And then hopefully I can build this channel up a little bit. Hopefully with this channel I can hit like a 1,000, close to 1,000 subs by the end of the year. And maybe I could do like super chats and we can like do shit like that and just I definitely want to open up to help people like if they want to do promo runs for like their Kickstarters or their comic, and I can have them come on and talk about it for a little bit. Because I get hit up a lot about that. Like people email me and they're like, "Oh, would you check out my comic and or promote it?" And I'm just like, "Well, I don't really do it on my channel. I don't really promote anybody's comics really except for my own." So so maybe I can just do that for like everybody. At least, oh snap, I lost. Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of like what I've been thinking about with this channel, and this is just gonna be like my just like my channel where I just kind of just do whatever and not really have to care too much about like what I'm posting because like this isn't gonna be like my main channel, so I'm not like I'm just like I said, just do whatever, stream about whatever, and maybe I'll put like low edit stuff in there and not like super high quality edited stuff. Just kind of like, oh, here's my this book that I like and let's look at it and stuff like that. I don't know. Just depends on what I want to put my time into. It might just be mainly just strictly just live streaming though for sure. I always helping people hustling and make money. Yeah, yeah. I would. I mean, there's a few people whose live streams I like to watch, like um Daniel Warren Johnson's. His is pretty cool. I used to watch his a lot, but he's gotten so busy. He doesn't really like. He just is on there now, and he kind of doesn't really like talk that much no more. He kind of just goes there, he works, and he's only on there for like 30 minutes, and then he kind of gets off because he's just like super popular now, and he's just always got work going on. So he doesn't. Sometimes he doesn't even live stream anymore as much as he used to. And then there's Terrell Canyon. I watch his every whenever he goes live on Tuesdays, and he just like he'll just talk. He'll like show off some comic books that he's been reading or looking at, and then he'll like either work on a commission or like or something like that, or like just a random piece of art, and then that's pretty cool. He's pretty fun. There's a few other random people that I'll check out every once in a while, and then obviously like Power to the Panel, like Brian Moss, his channel. He live streams just randomly, but fairly often, and he does like his streams are super cool because he's like really good at drawing, and he's really like, and he's great at like being able to conversate with the people on the streams while working on his art. So that's pretty cool. Is it hard to sit on stream of any kind and where it's like a lot of random BS? There should be. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it just depends on what the stream's about. Like, I mean, I'll watch people's streams that and then just like kind of sit there and just listen while I do. Because I mean, the way I work and I listen to YouTube videos or podcasts. Like, my main source of like entertainment outside of like reading comics and manga is like watching YouTube, and that's kind of like why I make YouTube channel videos. But so, and when people have live streams, like I don't really watch live streams like that because especially like artists, a lot of artists aren't very good at like drawing and talking. Like the only reason I'm good at is because I'm just inking. So like a lot of the thinking that I would usually have to do in like the initial processes is already done. So now I'm just inking. So it's not like I don't really have to think too much about what I'm doing because I already thought about it 3 times prior to printing it out. So like this is just me getting all like the fine stuff done, and like I'm gonna add like cool little inking effects and whatever, and even that is just like all secondhand, I guess, nature a little bit because I'm not like a super proficient inker. I'm not like Klaus Jansen, and all those people, Dexter Vines, where I'm like bunch of hatching and all that stuff. Like I haven't really gotten to that level yet. So, but yeah. Mm. Ink Pulp, they do a cool live streams. I like their live streams a lot too. They're pretty good at like drawing and talking, entertaining. They're really good artists like Sean and Crystal and Jim Food. They're really dope. And then they'll have like an artist on. That's really cool. That's how I found out about Wes Craig. He was on there, and then they talked. Somebody said, "Oh, I like your channel," and I didn't know about his channel, and so I went to go check it out. And I was like, "Oh snap, that ink wash is sick!" So I was like, "Yeah, I got to get to it," because between him, Mateo Scalera, like his ink wash, and like other people I've seen their ink wash, I'm just like, bro, I have to, bro. Like it's just like, yeah, Ink Pulp podcast. They do like podcasts, edited podcasts with like creators, Sean Crystal, Mateo Scalera, and then Eric Canetti. They're all like artists or like former artists, and they have like a podcast where they talk about like comic book industry stuff and like more like craftsmanship stuff, or like just like what it takes to kind of be an artist. Not really anything like news stuff, like just more just like craft stuff. And they'll have other artists on there, and they'll talk to the artists about like their careers, or like what they got going on. Da, 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 super cool. And then they do a live stream with Gemma Food, and they on the live stream they'll like so they'll have a they will have like a top like they'll ask the guest like, all right, what do you want to draw? And they'll be like, oh, let's draw Simpsons, and they'll all do like their own interpretation of like their favorite Simpsons character, or the Muppets, or they'll do Hulk or Berserk, or so it depends on what the guest wants to draw. So it's pretty cool, it's pretty interesting. I find out a lot about like the artists, like a lot of the artists they have on there I usually already kind of know a little bit about, so it's kind of cool just to see them draw and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool. History out E1. Yeah, E1 is, yeah, he's kind of crazy. I found out about him like a long time ago. Like he was one of the first guys I found out. Yeah, he doesn't do live stream, but he does like videos where he kind of just draws and he just like rambles and talks and just says a bunch of crazy random stuff. But he's like really, really good at drawing. Like he's like really good at painting and drawing. And his comics are cool. So I bought a couple of his comics, like Mega Death or Mega Death Fist or whatever. I don't know what it's called. He's like a really good artist. He did a cover for Scotty Young's he did a few covers actually for I Hate Fairyland. He did like a few covers back in the day for him. I'm surprised he's not working for like a major company doing artwork. He's I think he's in the UK or in that area. Yeah, he's crazy. He just says random shit all the time and just like draws like random funny like stuff. I found his channel like a long time ago, but he's like a really, really good artist. Like he like does like acrylic paintings on his, like he'll draw like something who's like acrylic paintings really good. He's kind of like his favorite artist is Simon Bisley. So he would like do a lot of recreations of Bisley's artwork, and it's like I wouldn't say it's similar, but it's definitely like really, really, really good. Like you can see like that's what he likes and stuff. Yeah. He's a dope artist. There's a lot of cool people who do YouTube channels. There's like a lot of people aren't like, I guess the word is like YouTube literate. So they kind of like what I'm gonna do on this channel is kind of what a lot of people do. They just kind of do random stuff. And then they don't really care about their thumbnails too much or like editing and stuff. And that kind of holds people back from like growing their channels and stuff. Yeah, he does his own interpretations of like Simon Bisley stuff. But that's not all he does. He does like a lot of different stuff. Like he'll draw like these goblins, they look super dope. He does like just like a bunch of shit. He does like sketchbook tours, and his sketchbooks are super crazy. Like he's like really, really good. Like he does like a lot of paintings. So his paintings are really, really good. But yeah, he will like he redrew the cover of the Simon Bisley Lobo cover with like the back arm, and she like says Lobo's back. He redrew that one. Yeah, he does a lot of like he's like really, really good. And, like again, like I'm super surprised he's not like working for like a mainstream comic artist, like a mainstream publisher. He does a lot of butts, boobs, and like wieners and stuff, like penises and shit. But not like it's not like perverted, I guess. It's just like artistic stuff. It's just kind of like he's just being funny. Like he'll like put like little penises on his characters just to be funny and stuff. And then yeah, he does like on his Instagram page. I don't know if he still has an Instagram page. I haven't seen him. Oh no, he does post. He does this thing called Butt Vember. I've been following him for a long time. Like I'm like it's crazy you know about him, Mr. Meow. But yeah, I've been following him for a couple years, and he does this thing called like Butt Vember, and he like draws like women like in their butts and stuff, and like he's really, really good. He just like a goofy guy, but he's like he's a really, really good artist. Like he's really good with like ballpoint pen drawings too. Like he's just an overall like a really, really good. Yeah, he's super light, super funny. He's kind of like putting on like a character to an extent. He was just like yeah, like that's the way he talks, and he like talks like he does it like the whole episode, and he's just like yeah, well like it's fucking crazy. Like, he just says stuff, and it's just like what is this guy got going on? But like I'll watch him every once in a while, but it's hard for me to keep up with him because he just says crazy stuff. He's always like yelling and like yeah, blah, blah. But yeah, he's super dope. Yeah, like schizophrenic Tourette's esque type vibes from him. But he's funny though. and he's like I said, super dope artist. You just look at it because sometimes he just does videos where he's just drawing. He doesn't really say much, like time lapse videos of him just like painting stuff, and it's like, dude, like you are a freaking master artist. Yeah, it's a lot of good artists on YouTube, man. It's hard to find like ones that like you want to be entertained by because a lot of them want to like teach you stuff, and I'm kind of like past that. I not that I'm past learning, but I'm past like wanting to watch fucking tutorial videos. There's like the same ones over and over, and like after a while, it's kind of like the biggest thing you kind of learn is just like consistency is just the main thing that keeps you that gets you better. Just draw every day. People say that, and like I remember when I first started drawing, I was like, draw every day. Like that's not it. Like you got to do this, do that. But essentially, that's pretty much what it is. Like, yeah, you can learn like all the little key lessons and stuff, and like kind of like ideas of what to keep in mind while you're drawing. Perspective and anatomy and all stuff. But if you like just keep learning how to draw like shapes and stuff, and all like the right shapes, and it'll all kind of like fall together eventually. At least in my mind, like I feel like I've gotten like 10 times better since I first started drawing. Like I started drawing like 4 years ago, like gotten back into drawing at least. And I look from then to now, it's like night and day. Always keep that in mind when I draw and I see other people who I feel like are better than me. I'm like, oh well, it's just their journey. Well, yeah. Yeah, I used to like watching channels like that, like where like people will like break down the history of like artists. Like there's one channel I used to watch and he would do like videos about like give you like the history of like mangaka, and I was like, man, this is super cool because there's not a lot of like people who like mangaka are really secretive. So like you wouldn't really know a lot about him, and so I forget his name's like his channel was like otaku something or something. I don't remember what it was, but he would do like breakdowns of like the history of like the life of this character, this mangaka, whatever, like the guy who did Naruto or One Piece or Dragon Ball Z or whoever, and that channel was really cool. He kind of fell off. I don't like the guy stopped making videos. I don't know why, but he has a lot of cool videos about like mangaka and like what their early lives and what they were doing before they popped off and stuff. Yeah, his name was like Otaku something or another. He was like a younger. I don't know. He wasn't American. He wasn't. He was like from the UK or something. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know that channel, but yeah, it is interesting learning about artists and stuff like that. And learning about like what they have going on and how they learned about whatever. Let's see. I feel like a lot of artists are just secretive. I don't feel like a lot of artists are super out there. I mean, that's kind of like the reason people are artists, right? Like they're like kind of introverted a little bit, little quirky guys. It's like very rare to see people who do like art that are like super like outgoing. It's unless they're like musicians, I guess. Like musicians can be, outgoing, I guess. Like drawers, people who draw or paint and stuff like that. I feel like a lot of them are pretty much like introverted and not very like super outgoing. I talked about this in an old ass video about like why like how like writers kind of took over as like the main people, like celebrities, like why there's no like more popping celebrity comic book artists anymore. Like I kind of talked about how like Rob Liefeld and Todd McFarlane were like the last super popular comic artists because they're like outliers because they're like super big personalities and stuff like that. Like, and then their artwork was like also really like good, like relatively speaking. And I mean, Jim Lee was pretty popular too, but Jim Lee was more like he definitely his personality isn't the same as like Todd and Rob, where like Todd McFarlane was doing commercials, Rob Liefeld was doing commercials. Todd McFarlane was literally like in front and center of his Spawn cartoon show. You know what I'm saying? Like there's like like a lot of artists aren't doing that. They're not having that personality or social cat like to be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be in front of the camera and I'm gonna talk and be all charismatic and charismatic and all that stuff. They're definitely like to themselves and stuff, you know. Yeah, loud, bombastic, and nasty, noisy. Yep, for sure. That's kind of the best. Oh yeah, Alax. Yeah, his channel is really really good. I'm in his Discord. Um, yeah, he's really dope. He takes his time with a lot of stuff. He's really good at editing. That's I think that's like a bigger reason why it takes a long time because his editing is really really good. And one day, I will get to the level of editing if I really hunker down. But I think I'm all right with the way I edit. I edit now. It's efficient for what I'm trying to get to. But Alex is good. Super Eye Patch Wolf is super cool. He doesn't necessarily do manga stuff all the time, but his manga stuff videos he's done were cool. Like his Chainsaw Man video was really great. He's done a couple other ones. Like I think when he first started off, he was doing a lot of anime and manga stuff, and now he does like random obscure video games and horror stuff and random topics. Like he did a video about Garfield and like how Garfield made like a comeback online of like all these like weird core Garfield designs and stuff. That was a really cool video. Yeah. Like I don't like man, my goal is to get my channel popping enough to where I can just hire a super high-end editor. Because I'm gonna be honest, I have no desire in being an editor. Like editing is not fun. Like it's really, really taxing and time consuming. I love drawing and making art and like the only thing I really love is making thumbnails. Like that's the thing that I really enjoy doing because I love figuring out how to make a thumbnail that like tells a story and looks crazy and like you know and then I kind of figured out like my process with that now so where it's like I don't really have to it doesn't take me that long to do it anymore. It's just the biggest thing now is just kind of like finding the images that I want to put on the thumbnail and then make it make sense, you know. But yeah, editing, yeah, I'm cool off that. Like I'm just, yeah, once my YouTube I start making like a consistent amount like of money where I can like spare to like pay for an editor, I'm for sure gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm fuck that. Because there's like this editing that I mean, like I said, I could understand the concepts of editing and like how to do all that and like use Blender like all these guys do, but I'm also just like, do I want to learn how to do that? Or do I want to learn how to make a comic or keep getting better at drawing? Like that seems like something that's more that I want to do, you know. But like anywhere. Yeah. I do take pride in like making sure my edits are like good. And I use CapCut really, and I use iMovie and CapCut. So I use like iMovie to like edit like my audio, like not my audio, but like edit out like it's like when I record on this, and then I record through Audacity, and then I edit like mix and master my audio on Audacity to make it sound like crisp and clean, or as much as I can. And then I use iMovie to like edit out all like the mix when I mess up on words or stuff like that. And then I use CapCut to add all like the images and like all the effects and all that cool stuff. But yeah, that's it. And then just keep it straight. But like I know I could do better if I actually took the time to do it. But I like I said, I'm more dedicated. Like the art craft that I really want to take my time and dedicate it is to being a better comic book artist. Like that's where my priority and passion lies. So like if I can as I can learn Premiere Pro if I want to, right? Yeah, I can learn it, I can pay for it and learn how to do that. Or I'm just keep using CapCut and just keep doing what I'm doing because I mean, at the end of the day, I'm not like a documentarian. Like I'm not trying to make like these award-winning films. I just want to make like I take pride in my script writing when I write my videos. I take pride in like making sure it sounds good. It's like I you know, like I'm telling a good story. I'm getting to the point. I'm proving my point that I want that I'm putting stuff out and things like that. But I'm not. I'm not. I don't know who's a famous movie editor, but I'm not that guy. Whoever. That's not who I am. I'm not doing that. This is too time consuming. It's not fun. Like learning how to color grade, learning how to put audio under my soundtrack to make it add more ambiance. You know, so there's things I know about and I see people do, but it's just like I don't want to take my time to do that. I want to learn how to draw Wolverine slicing somebody's face off, and you know, so that's I want to do that stuff. That's more interesting to me. You know. But I think I'm good at doing YouTube, so I'm gonna keep doing it for now until people are like, yeah, we're tired of you. We're tired of your videos. But I don't know. I mean, the YouTube comic book YouTube community is really small, like relatively speaking. So I think I'll be good for now. Be draining, especially when you have hours of footage. Yeah, you'll be known as a comic book Spielberg of comic book tubers. Yeah. One day I would love to do like a actual like documentary film. But the other problem is I feel like comic books finding like really good topics is kind of hard, you know? Like things that aren't already talked about or done over and over, like the main stories, like, oh, this is story of how Jack Kirby got screwed over by Marvel, or this is this how Stan Lee became this guy, or like, you know, oh, the story of Image Comics and what they did, and that, like I don't want to keep doing this talk. Like I want to find interesting stuff. Like, and I did a lot of my older videos. I feel like I did a lot of that good stuff. Like when I talked about like Derf Backderf and how he was friends with Jeffrey Dahmer. I did the video on what's that fool's name? The guy that got arrested for selling comics in Florida, and he was on probation for 10 years. Like those are cool. Those are cool stories that people don't really know about. Um, I'm gonna do my next video is gonna be about or just when I'm thinking I'm gonna do a video about the like history of like erotic comics and how that's like, you know, because I think that'd be fun. You know, I concept is kind of like how like, you know, adult magazines had a lot of erotic, you know, a lot of comic book artists did comic strips for like Playboy and like Hustler and stuff like that. You know, just like things like that. I don't know. That's coming out pretty cool, I think. And then I think, you know, that's kind of what I got for now. There might be more other controversial topics. Like maybe I'll like do a look at deep dive and how like Texas they made I think they made manga illegal or something. There's like something going on. I gotta look into it more. Like they passed the legislation about manga and all that stuff. And but there's like a lot of stories of like people who brought manga over back from Japan and got like cases put on them because people were like keep saying like manga is like a CP, you know. So I kind of want to do that. I think that would be pretty interesting to kind of like deep dive into that concept of like lolicon manga and like all those like, you know, manga's pretty perverted. You know, people always think about shonen jump stuff, but like don't think like there's a lot of different genres of manga that are like on like the scale of like like really perverted things. So I think that would be like a good video concept too. Or I could even shoehorn that into like the history of erotic comics and stuff. But we'll see. We'll see. It just, you know, it just depends on how strong certain topics are, you know? Like if the topic is seems to be what's the word, like worthy of that much, like of it getting its own video, then I will. If not, I will put it under like the umbrella of like a bigger concept, like, you know, like for example, like a black superhero video. Like I read Bitterroot, I really like Bitterroot, but I didn't think making a video dedicated to Bitterroot would do well. But I was able to like put the like my take and my, you know, what I loved about Bitterroot in that video, the black superhero paradox. So I think it worked out, and people know about Bitterroot. At least a little bit more people did than they didn't. Maybe they already did know about it, but maybe I contributed just a bit. Would you talk more about manga as well? Have you watched? Yeah, so the reason I don't talk about manga as much as I could, because I'm a avid manga reader just as much as comics, is just that one, the market, there's a lot of YouTube channels that talk about manga. Two, people manga fans are like annoying. They don't really like. I mean, comic fans are annoying too, but manga fans is like they have like this weird like cult following mindset where it's like if you're not doing the right take or talking about the right manga at the right time, it kind of like it will fall flat in the algorithm. So, I mean, yeah, but like I said, I'll do some more manga concept videos. Like that one was a good one because I felt like that was interesting. That the mangaka are opting into doing shorter manga than they are to do like long form 100,000 chapter series now. So that was a cool one. I thought that was a cool concept. That was like an old video I did. That was like one of the first video essays I did. I really liked that video actually. But yeah, I can definitely touch back on a lot more manga stuff. I just haven't um I mean, I did. It just really depends because, like I said, manga, like on manga, the thing about the manga, like American manga fan base, it grew with the internet. So, like the internet, the more popular the internet got, the bigger the manga space got. So, I mean, it all, like I said, it all grew together. So, like a lot of people have manga dedicated podcasts, manga dedicated channels, where the channel's dedicated just to talk about Dragon Ball Z, talk about Naruto and stuff like that. Where there's like an American comics, there's not a lot of channels that are dedicated to talking about comics in a real more poetic way, like I do with about comics, where people like the biggest channels are really just like people who make videos explaining who certain characters are that are about to come out in like the next big Marvel movie, like, oh, this is the new villain. Oh, there's the girl, what's it called? Silver Surfer, let me make a video and tell you who she is and what her story is. Or you don't know who Galactus is? Oh, I'll tell you. And those are more for like people who are just like fans of the shows that just kind of want to know a little bit more about what's going on. Like Comic Historian, Comics Explain, like those people are like, they're like the biggest channels. Whereas like people who do deep dives, they're not that big. Or like they're not doing it the right way. I don't really know. I mean, there's people like Comic Tropes and like Comic Drake who kind of do stuff like that. I don't really watch their videos. But they're pretty interesting. I don't really know how in depth they do stuff. I mean, like I've watched comic. I watched his videos a lot. I kind of stopped watching them after a while, But he does really good videos. He's pretty funny. Comic Drake's the same. There's other channels that I know, but those are like the bigger ones that are kind of do similar stuff to what I do. They're definitely not as like. I mean, I kind of keep my stuff pretty political from a few videos. Some videos I kind of keep it light. I try to be more niche and more nuanced, like topics. I don't really when I talk about stuff, and then when I do talk about creators, I like to talk about them. Sometimes I try to do too many creator videos anymore because I feel like creator videos don't do well because, like I said earlier, there aren't really popular people in general. So like Daniel Warren Johnson is somewhat popular, but like he's not like internet popular. Like people who don't know about him aren't gonna but like comic books aren't gonna go check him out. Something like Scotty Young or like I talk about Spawn. Spawn's popular, but Todd McFarlane. I mean, Todd McFarlane's actually popular too. I gotta make a video about Todd McFarlane or like Todd McFarlane and Rob Liefeld will still do numbers on the internet. Yeah, Strange Parts of the Brain. He's pretty cool too. He does really good analysis videos. I'm in his Discord also. He's really cool. I talked to him once or twice on there. He's really smart, really in depth about what his stuff. He's definitely a lot more a niche. When he talks about stuff, he doesn't really talk about a lot of mainstream stuff. He talks about like in depth stuff. So I like his channel. I mean, I generally don't really watch comic book YouTubers anymore just because I like all I do is read comics, and I do a lot of like I do my own channel, so I kind of like I get burnt out of like comic book stuff, so I kind of just like mostly my YouTube stuff now is like basketball stuff or like regular general pop culture podcast. But it just really just depends. Appreciate that, Huncho. Yeah, I have no internet interest in having other tell me a story. Yeah, that is a big thing with comics where it's like a lot of it is just like getting people to like buy what's the next hot topic or hot comic and here are the comics that came out this week and stuff like that. And where there's a place for that stuff, but those things don't really push the needle in as far as like those channels, like no offense to those channels or whatever, like do what you want. At the end of the day, it depends on like what you want out of your channels, what you want. If you're just doing it for fun or whatever and whatever. But like me, I'm like, I have a mission. Like I want to make my channel popular and sell my comics, like that's like the goal. Like I see people like what's his name, freaking Rippa. That guy is a freaking doucher, but all he does is talk about comics, or not really, like he talks about comics, the political stuff and all that stuff, and he was able to make a fucking $1 million on his first campaign. Like, and this guy did that shit just being fucking an ass. You know what I'm saying? So like, if I can do that, but not be a freaking ass. You know what I'm saying? That's what I want to do. So like, like if you can do it, I know I can do it. And but I want to do it in a more, like I said, like a better way. At least what I deem is a better way to talk about things I want to talk about. Talk about the like comics the way I love comics, and not be like, oh, like I mean, I don't want to do it by like cramping on everybody else or like calling out people and stuff. Like I just want to do it just by like talking about topics, and then just talking about my favorite comic that kind of relates to that topic, or talk about my favorite manga that relates to the topic I'm talking about. And like I always make a point of, like lately especially, is like if I like the video I just dropped about the black woman stuff, right? I want to do it like I made that video, but I also shoehorned in the N.K. Jameson Far Sector book, which is really dope, right? And so I was able to tell you about a comic and teach people about a comic that I actually love, and actually talk about the comics, not just talk about the politics around comics, which a lot of channels tend to do. They tend to talk about the politics, or like how they hate certain things, or like they're pro woke or anti woke shit, but they don't actually talk about the comics. Where I want to make sure I'm actually not just talking about those topics, but I also want to tell you about the comics that you should go check out. I want to tell you about the artists you should go check out. Tell you about the writer. Like when I did my Danny Warren Johnson video, I wanted to tell you about the comics that he does. When I did my Black Superhero Paradox one, like I said, I talked about comics that you can go check out. I don't know if I did in the White Superhero one, but that's what I want to do. I want to actually talk about the comics, but not just talk about them in a boring way, but like talk about them like as a fun thing, but not just be like a video explaining what the comic's about. Oh, in the Black Superhero one, the White Superhero Paradox one, I talked about something's killing children. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like I want to do that. I want to put people on good comics. You know what I'm saying? People that aren't just like superhero cape stuff. And if they are superhero cape stuff, I'm gonna give you the ones that I think are really good. Like, you know what I'm saying? People tend like that's the whole, they're missing the whole plot by doing that. Like the whole point of being you're supposed to be like talking about the comics. People just want to talk about other people, or talk about the creators and what they said on Twitter and or like the companies and how bad they're selling. Like it's like, bro, like no, let's talk about the comics. That's what people want to hear. That's what they want to talk about. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just what I think. Rip made $1 million and isn't using it in the right way, and I don't like how he tries to rip. Yeah, I watched his content like years ago when I found that he made all that money, and I was just like, yeah, this guy is like whatever. Like he built his business, good for him, whatever. Like do what you want to do. Like I don't have time for any like paying attention to that crap. Like I don't care. Like you know what I'm saying, whatever. Like good for you, I guess. Exactly. A lot of YouTubers, companies actually, but there's either the same old stories, yeah, or being negative on politics and about creating. Yeah, that's definitely the big thing. Like they're not, they're not tapped in. And then a lot of them always hyper focus on superhero comics, which is the weirdest thing. Is like, bro, like superhero comics, honestly, for me, it's like I don't read superhero comics. Like even when I first started reading comics when I was in middle school, like I wasn't reading superhero comics like that. I was like, the only superhero comics that I read growing up were like Invincible and Kick-Ass. And Kick-Ass isn't really a superhero comic, and Invincible obviously is like one of the best superhero comics in my opinion ever. But that's just me. Yeah, he calls it. Oh, there's and tries to make it seem like his universe is spirit, and it's not art. And yeah, I don't. And yeah, Rip, and he overcharges for his books too, which is crazy. But again, people are buying it. More power to you. Videos are you going to do edits where you have one long basically? Was really hard. Yeah, man, I could. I should do like a super cut and just have like one long video. Like this is, or maybe I could just do like an overarching thing. Because they all could, I guess, be like one long video. Eventually, I want to do like a long, like hour-long video, but I have to really find a topic or concept that's that big, and then I want to like incorporate other people so I can get their opinions and stuff. So I'm not just like talking like about things in a singular way. Like if I do another Black Superhero one, I want to get other artists and have them talk about their experience, or other writers and stuff like that. But yeah, I think it just takes time to build my audience to doing stuff like that. Super cut. Yeah, I mean, I could do that. I don't even know if I even have the original files for the those videos. I would have to like just like screen record the video and just something like that. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I guess I could do that. That would be pretty cool if people want to sit there and watch the whole thing and be talking and stuff. But we'll see. But yeah, I mean, I just, like I said, I really just want to talk about the comics. I want to you know, I'm here to call out the hypocrisy in people, but I'm not like a big thing I've seen and I noticed a lot lately is people do these like anti-grift videos. So they'll like call out the grifter, like I'm gonna call out a critical drinker and tell you and prove to you why he's stupid. And I see like I can see like whatever, like the point, but I also feel like it's kind of a waste because essentially you're just doing his work for him. You're helping him build his status. You're helping him see you're adding fuel to the fire that is, you know, who he is. And I just feel like it's kind of a waste, I guess you could say. And I don't think that's like worth my time. They're like, oh, I'm gonna call out Young Ripper. Like I talked about him in the superhero paradox video, but I didn't really talk too much. Like I don't care. Like I just like whatever. Like I said, do you, dude? Like if you make your money, yeah, good for you, man. Like I don't have time to be focusing on because that's like a big thing. When I watched this video a long time ago about like comics getting kind of like how it kind of where it started and how it fell through and where it's at now where it kind of just like fell off. And that was interesting, just kind of how there's like all this infighting and stuff. I thought it was really funny how it kind of like is like this whole like weird thing where everybody in there essentially now instead of like talking about comics, focusing on comics, just focusing on hating on. There's like the EBS side, and then there's the Rippaverse side, and they just try to talk down on one another, and it's like whatever. These are grown ass adults, like not like 20 something. These are all like 40, 50, like middle aged grown ass adults. Like, what are we doing? Like Jesus Christ, like what? That's the stupid line. Like, is that really worth your time? You know, I don't know. Whatever. You see the difference is you take on actually thoughtful investing on this approach. Yeah, I try to be as fair, interesting as possible, and you know, keep it light for the most part, but also try to keep it even and try to keep it real about how I feel and how I've seen people feel and how people talk about certain things. But you know, some people will get it, some people will blatantly ignore it. You know, that's on them. I think I might be done. I'm gonna add like something in the back here. Like I don't know what I'm gonna do, like stars or like circles or something, but I'll probably do that later. It's already late. Probably just gonna go chill after this read. I've been reading I finished Kaya. I got caught up to it, so I'm kind of annoyed that I did that. But I've been slowly but surely reading I got the Chew Nomniverse. On Omnibus. So I've been slowly reading this. I'm like on issue 3, I think. I just bought like a week ago because I was gonna start reading this, and then I found out about Kaya, and then I started reading Kaya. So I'm about 3 issues into this big thing. So I'm probably like in a month, I will get to that. The artist on there, Robert Guillory, he actually did a YouTube channel, but he kind of slowed down because I think he got caught up on his what's it called? It's his like comic stuff, his deadlines, and then I picked up there's a guy on Facebook Marketplace. He was selling this Space Bandits series for like $5. I got the whole thing for $5. So Mark Millar, Mateo Escalera, good art, cool writer. Mark Millar, he's an all right writer, kind of a doucher in real life, but you know, whatever. And then I've been reading Dandadan, but I stopped reading Dandadan because I just like I kind of got you know, I just took a break, but I'm almost caught up with the Taco Buns. I'm on issue 12 right now. I just need to get back into it once I slow down and stuff. I'm gonna read. So 12 and 13 I have left, and then yeah, that's kind of like what I got going on as far as books that I've been reading. What else? All right, but yeah, so I think I'm done. So this is the page. I'm gonna take the camera up and I'll show you what I got done tonight. So that's the Grand Ranger character. These are all like these monsters. Like on this page, he's pretty much explaining like his like how he was the first and only person, and then that but like the monsters kept growing and growing. So that's him like in his human form. He's got given a speech in this issue. So I think in the background, I'm gonna do like either I'm gonna do like a raise, kind of like the rising sun raise, like Japan rising sun or something like that. And then I'll probably just black out this stuff. But I still have to figure it out. I appreciate it, Dale. But yeah, that's kind of what I got going on tonight. that will remind you. So, all right, let me close this out. Okay, yep, put the camera down. Whew. Appreciate it, guys. Appreciate everybody for watching. Yeah, I'm gonna try to do this. I mean, we'll see. Since like I said, like I have a lot. I mean, I have damn near all the pages done for issue 2, so I could probably I'll come on live like every once in a while whenever I feel like it, and I'll just come on here and just ink these pages, and we can chit chat and stuff. You know, keeps me busy while I'm drawing, keeps me focused. So I'm not just trying to watch a TV or a movie and stuff like that. But and also, you know, if if you're an artist or you want to come on, we can do like drawing streams. Like I really want to do that. Get people to come on, we can draw together and stuff. That's something I want to do. Sorry, I'm closing myself out. But yeah, so I got that done. So I'm pretty happy about that. I think it came out pretty good. Let me do some selling real quick. Let me do some shilling real fast for you, and then call it the night. So I actually updated my website, guys. So this picture right here, this is actually the Grand Rangers like early design right here that I drew a while back. But yeah, so I updated my website, a different hosting site. There's the Grand Ranger right here. This picture. That's actually the early design of the Grand Ranger, like one of the first ones. So Honcho, you're asking about early designs of characters. This is the early design of Grand Ranger. But yeah, so I updated my website on here. This is like the opening page. Shout out to Jeremy Heiler. He helped me design the page. He hooked me up. And yeah, so this is like the page. I have like all my art portfolio stuff. My Kaya piece and my Static piece I just drew recently. And then you can buy some of my works. So a lot of these books were available on my Kickstarter's add-on, but if you weren't able to, or you want to buy them later on, you can do it now. So I like this will talk to guides. And these 2 books are like collab books that I worked on. These are like my individual books that I did in the past. You know how you can see like my latest video. Yeah, Jeremy hooked me up. I have like an about page, my portfolio where I have a lot of my drawings on here, like my raw scans of some drawings, and some stuff that I color. This is another early design drawing of AWOL right here of Stokely, the main character. So that's the early one that I did of that, and then yeah, so you can do that. If you want to support the books, that would be awesome. Contact me, all that good stuff. And then I have my Patreon. So on my Patreon, I upload fairly, what's the word? Pretty often. So on my Patreon, I what I do is I have like, say if I have I do interviews from my videos and I edit them down. I'll put the full interview on the Patreons. You can check out some of the stuff you can pay for. Some of the stuff is for free. Like all you gotta do is just become a member, and I have a lot of stuff on there for free where you can, as long as you're a member, you'll be able to see it. So I have like a lot of my these interviews I did on Heroes Con. I uploaded a lot of them on here that they were just like on my Instagram exclusively, but it's like, or these are my thumbnails that I'm using, just like other stuff. I would do this pretty often, like my pickups from this is all my stuff I got from Heroes Con. So like if you want to check that out, just sign up for my Patreon. I have my tutorials on how I did my YouTube channel stuff. So yeah, full interviews, and I'm consistently just post stuff here and there on there. But yeah, if you can just become a member, or you can pay. I think membership's $5. Yeah, so it's just I have a $5 and $10 tier. So, and then the $10 tier, yeah, you get the post and just a lot of other stuff. But I mean, you can just do the $5 one, and you'll also get most of the stuff except for like voting for certain things. And you can get the downloads to my comics that I have on here. I think I have some comics up here. You can, or I'm gonna add comics up here for free that you can download and stuff, pay for the PDFs. But yeah, if you guys want to support that would be awesome. I would appreciate it. I appreciate everybody for watching this live stream. Be on the lookout for the next one, probably being sometime next week. Yeah, I'll see you guys later. Peace.